Hey guys, CJ here, coming at you with another character bio, this time for Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man, and we'll go into his origin in a little bit. But Hank Pym is one of those characters that gets such a bad rap from the comic book community for a few mistakes in his life, actually. And Josh makes a good point when he talks to me about it. He's like, Hank Pym hit his wife once, and Reed Richards early on pretty much constantly abused his wife and doesn't get a bad rap for it. But such is the nature of Hank Pym, I guess, always reflected on as, the bad guy for that. I mean, there is no excusing beating your wife. It is, a terrible thing that no human being should ever do. It's just something awful that no one should ever do. And Hank Pym was wrong in that, yes, but I believe forgive and forget his contributions to the superhero community afterwards are, clearly, above and beyond the call of duty. And we'll bring that up in a little bit, but let's get started. So Hank Pym, clearly, as most of you might know him as, the scientist, creator of Ultron, able to grow and shrink in size, was born in Elmsford, New York. A young genius, he got a PhD in biochemistry and other scientists. And he got married to a Hungarian chick named Maria Trovaya, who was a political dissident from Hungary, as I said, Hungarian. But they later visited Hungary, and they were confronted, and Maria gets killed, and Hank Pym swears his life to, defeating injustice and stuff like that through his scientific research. And when he returns to America, he discovers these weird particles, and he can manipulate them, and he produced a growing and shrinking serum, and he actually the first time he tested the shrinking serum, he got stuck in an anthill, and all these ants were coming after him, and he managed to escape. But he decided that they were too dangerous and they could fall in the wrong hands, and he destroyed the serum. And a few weeks later, he, I guess, regretted his decision and recreated the serum and kept it a secret. And yeah, Josh mentions here, because Josh is the one that types these things up, Hank actually got, stuck in the anthill that time. But that also, he studied ants greatly after that, and he started theorizing on how ants communicated, and he created a helmet that would allow him to communicate. I think he said it was like psionically or electronically, through like psionic/electronic waves. He could, that's how the ants would communicate. So that's how he did it. And that day, he got a government assignment for a radiation immunity gas, and he actually, succeeded in that. It would give temporary immunity to radiation. And of course, the Russians found out, and the KGB attempted to steal this formula, and they tried to kill Hank. And he's, I guess, a moment when he wasn't being watched, he put on his gear and shrunk down. Used ants to distract. He used ants to, I guess, distract the Russians, and then freed his men, and they all stopped him together. And Hank then became the superhero known as Ant-Man. And later on, when his colleague Vernon Van Dyne, died. He met his daughter Janet, and he revealed his secret identity to Janet because she reminded him of Maria, and over to the time they fall in love. And Janet wanted to avenge her father after his death, and so Hank helped her, use the shrinking formula and develop wings. I guess there was a weird way that's never really scientifically explained where they figured out how she can. It was a scientific formula. She can grow wings when she shrinks, or something like that. And together they defeated Pylia, an alien who killed her father. And now Ant-Man and Wasp fight crime together as, I guess, colleagues and lovers, and they even helped found the Avengers. Interesting fact, they were actually among the team that originally found Captain America frozen in a block of ice. Moving on, Hank Pym continued his superheroics over the years. He used the codename Ant-Man, Wasp, Goliath, Giant Man, and Yellow Jacket. He was also declared the Scientist Supreme by the cosmic entity Eternity. I guess that's, the opposite to the Sorcerer Supreme that is Doctor Strange. And his most infamous moment was the creation of Ultron. But anyways, let's get into some of his abilities. Hank Pym can reduce and increase his size. He's a super genius, and with his helmet can communicate with insects, especially ants. He retains normal strength when shrunk, so that's the strength of a man, when he's an ant, which is significantly useful, and he has proportionate enhanced strength when giant. And the giant thing is sort of an enigma for him, because he stopped becoming giant for a while because he lost the ability and it was physically straining. And I guess he found a workaround for that in time. But also interesting is the Yellow Jacket persona. I didn't mention this in the origin, but the Yellow Jacket persona is really, really crazy. It's one of the odder stories in comic books. He actually was thinking about how he wanted to marry Janet but couldn't because they were so far apart, socioeconomically. and he accidentally messed with some chemicals or dropped some chemicals, and the fumes, I guess, caused him to go a little bit insane and bipolar, he developed this alternate personality called Yellow Jacket, who claimed to have killed Hank Pym, and that's how he and Janet actually got married, is the fact that he, I guess Yellow Jacket asked, because he was thinking about how he wanted to marry Janet when the chemicals, I guess, hit him. Yellow Jacket was like, "Oh, Janet, marry me," and she was like, she realized it was Hank, and she played along with it, and in the end, he actually regained his I guess identity as Hank Pym after they had gotten married, and so that must have been a little bit of a shock for him. But anyways, recommended reading: Ant-Man Season 1, Marvel Feature number 4 through 10, Astonishing Tales number 27, Avengers number 57 to 60, and 212 to 229, Avengers Academy Volume 1, and Avengers AI Volume 1. He actually now leads Avengers AI, if you didn't know. But anyways, like I said, Hank Pym, probably one of the most polarizing figures in the Marvel Universe. I personally love him, and I feel like after studying this character so much, me and Josh both agree there could definitely be a Hank Pym movie, a standalone Hank Pym movie, not just, a Hank Pym and Scott Lang movie. Edgar Wright, do this too, please. Anyways, that about wraps it up. So you guys know Hybrid Network by now. We cover everything in the comic book world, from comic book movies to comic books in general, anything you can think of. So stay tuned here for more updates, and signing off, this is CJ. See you next time.